take this off the page, and then I can sprinkle it the way I'm supposed to. And then I'm going to keep these packets, the empty packets. I think that's very useful. And then I've got, this is information on my soil blocking mix. And then Brook Green Gardens sent me a whole bunch of things. We're very fond of Brook Green Gardens in South Carolina. And so I'm going to plant these also in our garden. These are pretty much hardy annuals. And then I also bought a big bag of wildflower seed to be able to really do our whole pasture out there that we've sort of inherited in the Adopt the Barn project. So this is a big deal. And you just gently roughen up the soil, sow it, but it needs to be gently roughened up. So we'll see what we've been doing with that. And I've envisioned 2 car tracks kind of going through it. We'll see what happens. And then the list goes on. This is the list of all the ones that I've got that are direct sow, full sun, coal hardy annuals, which means that we don't need to put them in these soil blocks that we just talked about. But you could directly put them in the ground using this handprint method where you put a seed where each of your fingers goes, and then you put a little fork. I have some fork knives and spoons which we can write. I'm going to give everybody their own marker, and you're going to write down what you put in that spot so you can come back and visit it. Those will be your pets. You can do all different ones if you want to. And then it also tells which ones I need to actually put in the soil block. So that's, I think, kind of interesting. This is me learning how to do this stuff. And then I had a list of what I bought. And then also, I'm going to hand everybody out a sheet called Seeds Starting with Soil Blocks. I have all of these for you under the big tent out front. And then I sort of recommend, if you get into this, you'll get these seed things in the mail, and I would just start a big seed library pad for yourselves, and I'm going to do a seed library harvesting your seeds and storing them later this summer. And that way, I think if we have seed libraries, we can each share what works well here, and then we just have a party with it. Wouldn't that be fun? So that's what I'm doing, and that's how I just thought you'd like to see how I'm trying to keep up with my stuff, because you suddenly get a whole lot of it. And then this is another gal I really, really like. Her name is Sarah Raven, and she is she's married to, Sissinghurst Gardens. She is a Sackville West wife. And this is an amazing book, and we've been to her place, and someday, if y'all are interested, I'd love to go and take a workshop group to her place, which is kind of what I'm modeling what I'm doing here. Ours is unique because of the type of space. She really does teaching really right, and I think some of the packets might be from her.
Where is she married?
She is in Kent. She's near Sissinghurst, but she's not like on top of it. She's maybe a couple of miles away. And it's a really neat place. But anyway, I like...
So she actually gets to do the Sackville West garden that her mom or
her grandmother-in-law, I think is how it works.
Wow.
Yeah, she just has another book that came out. I really like Sarah Raven. I was hoping she could come lecture for us someday, but we'll keep hoping. She also has another book called The Great Vegetable Plot. I think this is a great book. I really like British stuff. As you know, I'm an Anglophile. But then we've got this great American stuff, so the crossover is fascinating. I've learned more about composting from John McCarley up the street, which we'll have John speaking again this year, and also from going to see all of the different gardens in England that teach organic gardening, because the composting methods are fabulous that they do. And we'll go and we'll look at our compost, because you've got to have good compost to have good gardens. We'll talk about that in our permaculture workshop. So with that, I just wanted to share what we had. So here we're going to have the vegetables. We're going to have everybody choose things they like the most, and then we'll just probably scoop all that up and put them in categories, and then we'll scoop all of these up and put them in the can, and then we'll take vegetables and annuals, and then we can have some of each for each of us to do in our soil blocking. Does that sound like a plan?
Would you happen to remember how old was the oldest seed packet that you had success?
I don't have that record. So I find that when I buy things like Alpine, they don't do well for me because I'm probably not doing them with bottom heat or something. I just don't know. But you can usually find the date of one. Yeah, here it is, sell by. Well, this is 1211. I would probably think this one would probably be viable, and it's forget-me-nots. And the Brook Green ones are very current. Oh, the Great Smoky Mountain ones. These I almost feel certain they won't sprout. But this is Cornus Florida, so this is a little tree seed. Here's some more wildflower mixes. that there's not a date. Oh, it says packed for 2003, but it might work. They're wildflowers. They're pretty tough. So we'll see. Thank you for asking. So
I just wondered, you know, because I usually it's like prescriptions. I'll keep them for a year, but then I think, nah.
Yeah, but I did have some success with some of the things you'll see out in the trays. Those were at least 3 years old, and they came out pretty well.
That's great.
So I had some heritage seeds that were
I
Cherokee
still have
Trio.
some in a bag like that. I used half a bag.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Last year.
This is a lot of seed, and this is a pretty bulletproof type of one. I'm not an expert on wildflower seeds, but I do think that's nice. And this is known as a soil bomb. They're really cute. It's a fertilizer. It's already got fertilizer. It's a sweet pepper seed pod. I don't know. I think they're funny. And so that's what we have in store today. We've got about 2 hours to do this in now, an hour and a half or so. So we want to get started?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okie dokie. Here we go. So let's put these. What I'm going to ask is, Virginia, could you separate, before we get these too far apart, these are all radishes and beets. If you could just do something like that, so when we scoop them together and put them in the tray, it says radish beets, and then we'll do the Russian kale, you know, kind of, these are all kales. That would be great. And I don't think we're going to do eggplant. If it's just one of something, we're just fine with it. See, she's so good. We're all very, you know, getting this organized.